Okay, thank you very much. That is Babylon 5 versus Solar Fleet. If you like the Alliance tournament more than the average person, if you want extra statistics, if you want analysis, if you want write-ups, you should go to at.eve-ic.net. That is our volunteer site. They are doing all the data for us. They're doing a wonderful job, and they are maintaining a site for the people that just want a little bit extra information about all this. If you do, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Have you been watching from the backstage area-ish?
I've had a chance to look at the matches. There were some pretty exciting ones there. Certainly the first one, Black Legion versus Lack of Imagination.
Yes.
Which turned out to be true. They really did lack imagination. Anyway, that was pretty interesting, as well as the Voltron match. So there's been some good matches. The White Noise versus Red Federation. That was a surpriser, I thought.
Red Federation did pretty well.
They did very well. They actually, I think they'll probably have a chance in that group, which is good. It's good to see.
Yeah. A disappointment, though. I thought the Ronin weren't very good.
I didn't catch that.
Oh,
so,
all right.
If you say so.
Yeah. No, I kind of expected them to come in and like punch everything, but we were a little bit deflated out here. At least it was like,
I have no memory whatsoever of it.
Were they that bad?
Maybe
so
they were.
bad, no one remembers what happens. Yeah. No, they weren't entirely impressive, but Black Legion.
Oh yeah, they lost, right?
Certainly were.
Yeah, it's the marketing team.
We do have one question directed to you, though.
Shadoo?
Yes.
Oh dear.
This is 123 Liu, which I expect is an alt, because that's no one would really call their character that. To Shadoo, who is the best FC in PL?
That's without a doubt Joggen,
Is it
our
not?
Swedish stallion.
Is he?
And I
actually-
can't say that with the straight voice. I'm sorry.
So he is.
Yes, sure.
All right. Okay, let's, while we, I'm not sure I entirely believe that. While we just chew on that, though, let's go to CCP Sunset. She's with the commentators right now.
Thank you, Soundwave. And as you said, it's CCP Sunset back in the commentary booth with our lovely commentators for this evening's show. We're here with Ravy and with John Zastro. Just going to field a few more questions from our lovely forum thread.
Sounds good.
So the first question that I wanted to pose to you guys was about battleships. There's a little question on there about how we haven't seen a huge number of battleships. Could it be something to do with the points cost of bringing them compared to the benefit they would bring to a team?
They did drop the point value a little bit for this tournament, but I still think that battleships aren't giving you the best value for the points compared to a lot of other ships. The problem is they do a lot. They have a lot of EHP, they do a lot of damage, but they really are vulnerable to E-War. You've got only one ship that can get jammed, that get tracking disrupted or damped, and really you want to spread those ships out whenever you're sorry, got distracted. Whenever you're facing any kind of E-War.
Shiny things. I personally really like battleships. I like flying them around, but I understand why people have reservations about them in the context of the tournament. They are slow. It's harder to catch up with people, especially with all the kiting teams we've seen so far. Yet at the same time, the battleship-heavy teams we've seen today have been pretty strong. I think all the battleship-heavy teams we've seen have won their matches today. So it shows that it can be done, and they may not be underpointed after all.
Yeah, maybe we'll see a little bit more of those then. Hopefully we'll see a lot more of all the ships in the next few matches. We've also had a few questions about how the Minotaur teams seem to be very popular this year. Lots of Minotaur ships showing up. Any thoughts on that, why they would be a popular choice for the tournament, John Zastro?
Oh, Minotaur ships are very popular small gang ships altogether. They're quick. They're not usually as reliant on capacitor, and they can do a lot of damage with good tracking with their autocannons, especially because projectile weapons have so much fall off. They not quite as range dependent as like blasters are, while still being effective.
Yeah, I think when you'll see Minotaur teams that can do just about everything. They got ships that are jacks of all trades, like the Sleipnir. For only 16 points, you get a ton of damage, you get a gang link, and you get a lot of speed. You can apply that damage, and they're my favorite ship quite easily for the tournament.
Excellent. In contrast, not so many Mars ships showing up in this tournament so far. Not a huge number. Any reason why they would not be quite so popular?
Being cap dependent is one of the big problems. The laser ships, when you go up against a curse, they will get capped out very quickly.
But the curse itself is an Amarr ship, so we have seen plenty of curses. I don't think Amarr is a bad racial ship choice in general. I just think in the context of the tournament, they may not be quite as effective for the points.
Just slightly vulnerable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so have you had a favourite match so far in the matches that you've been watching today, both from the studio and commentating?
I actually personally liked the White Noise RVB match because it surprised me how close it came.
Yeah,
and
it
it
was
really
very
did come down to
close.
the wire. And at first when I looked at it, I was like, oh, no, another kiting Caldari team. But it came down to the last second. That was
Yeah.
cool.
That was definitely a great match. I also really liked the Dark Side versus Raiden match in the first half. It wasn't quite as close as some of the other matches, but you saw an extremely effective counter brought up against the Mimitar team, and Dark Side did a great job with it.
Yeah, well, all the matches have been really exciting so far, and we've really been enjoying watching them here in the studio. In fact, we're going to go back into the studio now to Mr. CCP Soundwave.
Thank you very much, guys. We might just be able to get one or two words in on the last match. This was one of the low pilot matches. We had 7 versus 8. Most of the matches have been 9 or 10 versus 9 or 10. Is that good or bad?
I think it's bad for when you show up with like a 7-man team against like a 10-man E-War team. When you only have 7 ships, you're gonna catch so much more E-War per ship, and it just becomes like very difficult to fight back against that just natural pilot disadvantage.
That's true. On the other hand, Solar Fleet fly their fleets pretty much like this. MacDeb is a great guy, but he definitely sports the typical Russian approach to winning stuff, fist, face.
That
Thank you.
sounds pretty much exactly like what we saw. You're probably also a little bit lucky if you have a 7-man setup and it's Vindicators and your opponent's warp to 0.
Yeah, and your opponent's only bringing 8 ships.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. It's great. It worked out awesome. But yes,
Yeah,
it
and
was a
then-
bit lucky.
Not just warp at 0, but then stay at 0.
Yeah.
So
Were they ham tengus?
I can't see from here, but the Nighthawk stayed at 0. Like it
Was
would
it
be.
a ham nighthawk?
I don't. You can't see from here.
It might have been. Who knows? What's been your favorite setup today?
I have to say the Dark Side setup was really impressive. The way they dealt with the Rush team, especially a well-flown Rush team like the Raiden team, that was impressive to watch.
I thought that was really, really good as well. Kill 2.
Yo,
Any setups that kind of had you thinking, that was pretty good?
I was actually just thinking there was a setup that made me think that, but I can't remember what team it was. I was in the commentary booth, and it was a control setup with a whole bunch of different kinds of ships.
All the recons,
Yeah.
all the different recons. Oh, that was.
Oh, yeah. It looked a little grab bag, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, it looked like a
Yeah.
big mess.
Yeah.
Because at first what I was thinking is I actually like the PL setup
Yeah.
best because it's so clean and coherent. I feel like all their setups are so crisp. Like it's every slot looks calculated. But then I was thinking that setup looked the opposite.
Yeah, that setup looked like they were just like all the recons.
But it actually looked like the most work to make it do what it needed to do. Like it looked like it needed good pilots.
Yeah.
And I like that.
All right.
But I can't remember who it was.
That was
And I feel like they were complaining about us giving them a bad time
negative
in
10.
local.
Negative 10.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Great.
negative 10.
All right.
If they were complaining, screw them. I'll go with PL.
Yeah, Negative 10 did have a very, very good setup. So, Circle of 2, Razor Alliance.
Circle of 2 gets my vote. They were the ones that had the video last year of them
Yeah.
landing the tournament.
Also constantly filling their prizes.
Yeah,
Losing
it's
a
fun.
ton of them.
There's obviously fun guys who love the tournament and trying to entertain everybody.
And they have the advantage of all being in the same room as well.
Yeah.
They're in a PC cafe somewhere in Serbia.
I think Razor will probably field a competent team, but Circle of 2, I hope has in the past entertained me more, and I hope we'll continue that tradition, and I'm going to go Circle of 2 as well.
Didn't Circle of 2 lose their power into their cafe like 1 hour before the match or something last
They
year?
did. We had to like push their match back or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a downside to that.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to go against these two guys. I'm going to go for Razor Alliance. I think this year they have done pretty well in the pre-qualifiers, and Sensation, I think, is running their tourney team this year, and they've been pretty impressive. And you know, they have a lot of time now to work on their tournament, that they don't have to worry about fueling towers and picking up soft costs.
Just about to say, maybe they're better at tournaments than holding space. No, that is going to be exciting. That is our second last match. After that, we have Wild Boars versus Outbreak. And around 9, 9:10, 9:15 Eve time, we're going to end it for today. And then we're going to be back at 1500 tomorrow with the second round of the group stage. And it's been pretty tremendous today, hasn't it?
It's so amazing that we have 2 weekends, 2 full weekends.
Yeah, I know. No more radio, no more other stuff. 2 full weekends of looking at us studly men.
Yeah.
I'm really going to enjoy it, except for staying with him.
You know what this guy does? He fills the bathroom with water. He just...
Listen, okay, the shower curtain did not extend all the way to the end of the shower. It's not my fault there was an inch of standing water at the bottom of the shower.
All right, you two. Let's look at some stats. Let's have our sometimes accurate stat sheet. Circle of 2, Razor, both have logos. Circle of 2, small.
Both silver logos.
Silver logos. The points fielded.
Yeah, so Razor's better.
By 2 points.
By 1 win.
By 1 win, too. Yeah. What's the advantage of fielding less points?
Well, it adds to your point victory. Like, if you are successful and win, it is added to the points that you successfully killed. But I believe you do not get the 25% victory bonus on points less than your 100.
Didn't we have a team in the pre-qualifiers that it looked kind of like a deal, basically? They came in with a lot less points than they needed to win, and then they basically just shot the entire team without the other team shooting back. I think we had like one match in the qualifiers that looked a little bit suspect. But I mean, you know, you have to take the points wherever you can get them. And I mean, it is possible to pass through even without wins, isn't it? We had one team that ended up with 1 ship left on the field, and the other team can't really. That was a red team, wasn't it?
I don't know. I couldn't watch the pre-qualifiers.
No, I mean today we had a.
Oh.
Yeah.
They won, or they lost, but the other team only had 1 ship left.
Yeah.
That's
That was,
basically the same number of points as a win.
Yeah, it's
That
close.
was
Close enough. I mean,
The big advantage that White Noise had in that is they get the 25% bonus to the fight.
Right.
Like to
yeah, it's not the
points they had.
same, but it's certainly
Yeah.
a big deal. I mean, it's effectively the same. Do the lights?
Okay, I'll stop babbling now. Let's get to the match. Circle of 2, Razor, Circle of 2.
I kind of want to change the Razor because
All right.
they're better pre-quals.
Okay.
And it's
fair enough.
really important which I pick.
It is really important. Let's see how important.